Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. This is Ebony Combs. I am here today to do an AMA session with you. I'll wait for some of you guys to get in the room, but I wanted to say hello to you first. And I'll introduce myself here in just a moment to tell you more about me and who I am, what I do, and why you're here. So I'm in Starbucks. This is my office for the day. I typically come here to work and take client calls and even do just some brainstorming that I have going on for the day or work on projects. It's the way that I can work, and I know a lot of people say, oh, I like the library better because it's closed and it's quiet, but I like noise around me. It's like my white noise. Hello, speaker LeVar Wharton, thank you for joining me. Make sure you share this out with your tribes, with your audience. Those that you believe would basically take advantage of this and that it's needed for them in their careers. I do a lot of personal branding and development with clients, also social media consulting. And so I'll tell you more about myself here in just a moment, but I wanted to give you time to come in so that you did not miss anything. If you are watching this on the replay, hello, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching the replay. I appreciate you. Share this out with your tribe as well, those who you believe would benefit from this as well. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being here. So, Speaker LeVar Wharton, tell me just a little bit more about yourself. You have speaker in front of your name, so I'm assuming that you're a public speaker. Tell me more about that and where you are, where you're located. So we're going to go over the agenda and just talk about what we have planned for you today. First, I want to know where everyone is from, where you are broadcasting from, where you're watching from. If you're in your car, if you're in Dallas, Texas, that's where I am. So hello to all my Texans. I'm originally from Oklahoma, and so I am Oklahoma through and through. So I'll tell you I love my home state. But I wanted to share with you all today and just ask you where you're from. I know that I have a lot of overseas clients who are not up yet. That it's nighttime for them and they're asleep right now. So I want to say hello to you all when you tune in later and just see how you're doing, how your evening went, and tell you to have a wonderful day. So hoping that the background noise is not too drastically loud, but I have my beats on here, so it typically will help me to communicate with you more. So we've talked about where everybody is from. We've looked at it. We've got Chicago in the house, Dallas, Nebraska, Texas. Oh, Cliff, you're from Texas. Cool. What do you do, Cliff? Thank you for joining me as well. If you see me looking off to my right, I'm watching the comments here so I can make sure that I don't miss anything from you all. So right now we're just talking about where everybody is from. And I'll post the agenda as we go through this AMA session. So for those of you who are not familiar with hashtags and what AMA is, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is here in just a moment. So what I'll ask you to do next is share this with your tribe. This is where we do a share with your tribe blitz. Your tribe is your family, your friends who are interested in public speaking, personal brand development, as well as social media. Hello, Taylor. Thank you for joining me from your Dallas office. I appreciate that. Make sure that you share this with your tribes. That's where we are in the broadcast, is where you're going to share it out to your community, because as public speakers, as personalities, hosts, event coordinators, personal brands, even if you are in corporate, you are still a personal brand. So that's something you have to pay attention to, and that is what I teach my clients. So I wanted to have these sessions because I always get questions about personal brand development and how you can be organic with others in relationship building. And so I'll go over some of that and answer your questions today. Thank you so much, Cliff, for sharing with your tribe. I appreciate that. And ask that each of you share. To my replay viewers, it is not too late for you to share either. So here we go. Just to tell you a little bit about who I am. Again, my name is Ebony Combs. I am a brand consultant and social media consultant as well. I'm a public speaker, and my background is in human resource development and human resources rather. So I am over 10 years of a human resources career. Then I turned into a brand ambassador for Procter & Gamble as their My Black is Beautiful, first ever My Black is Beautiful ambassadors to represent that community, the African American community, as far as inspiring women and girls to love themselves from the inside out. I started there with ambassador roles. I learned branding through my HR career, and then I really was able to be exposed to it through Procter & Gamble, working with their partners of brands, from CoverGirl to, Pantene Naturals. I represented Pantene Naturals in a national campaign as well. And, I worked with Charmin and Secret and Always, and the list goes on. And Walmart. Lisa Nichols was my first experience live on a stage, on a panel, speaking to the audience there. So just kind of want to give you some background on who I am and how I'm qualified to answer your personal branding and social media questions. I found my opportunity to become an ambassador through Procter & Gamble. Okay. You lost connection, waiting for it to log back on. Perfect, Taylor. Let me know when you're back and when you're up. All right, so I basically, from working with P&G and several other brands, while I built relationships within those brands, I found my opportunity on Twitter to become an ambassador. And I completed the contest. I entered. I completed every step, which was basically nurturing the brand and letting them see who I was and having that perspective there. They learned a lot about me. I learned a lot about them, the ins and outs of how corporate branding works, partnerships work, organic connection works. So that's why I'm qualified to be here with you. And I've been highly sought out after, as far as billion-dollar brands, million-dollar brands, startups, you name it, individuals. I've worked with them all, and I've appreciated those experiences. I've loved them, every last one of them. I can't tell you there's one that I like over the other, because I've learned so much from good and bad experiences, right? So that's a little bit about me, letting you all in my Kool-Aid so you could get to know who I am. Let's see. So, what in the world is AMA and why did I create it? AMA means Ask Me Anything. And as a social media expert, I speak in the world of hashtags all the time, right? That's the way that our analytics pick up everything that we're learning, that we're tracking, that we can track ways for people to brand and stamp their business, their movements that they're doing. That's what the hashtag is for. It's originally designed for Twitter, used by Twitter exclusively on that platform, and now other social media platforms have picked it up so that they can search and follow the metrics as far as how much activity they have. Oh, hey, Taylor. Thank you for joining me again. So we're talking about hashtags and why I did AMA. And so for some of you who may not be familiar with hashtags, AMA is Ask Me Anything. And so essentially it's acronym, a short version of communicating with people out there. And if I was to type in AMA, while I'm sure other people have used that, so typically with my clients, I use AMA with Ebony. And so I use that so that I can track and see how many people are using them, right? Using that and what they're saying about it and making sure that it's what I'm controlling that conversation, right? That the marketing is out there because people are saying, okay, AMA with Ebony, that means Ask Me Anything, and I got the branding expertise or the social media advice from Ebony, right? So that's my way of tracking these sessions with my clients, this conversation that I'm having with you all here today. So that is why, that is what AMA stands for. Why I created AMA was because, you get these questions all the time. Hey, I just want to quickly pick your brain. I want to ask you a quick question, or hey, can you help me on this really quickly, right? And I call that pick my brain. I don't do pick my brain. And a lot of big brands, a lot of experts, consultants don't do pick my brain sessions. We do consult. We do have where you can hire us, whether that's retaining us on a monthly basis, a yearly basis, whatever the case may be, the capacity of your budget, we're available, but we do not do free, right? Because our time our intellectual property is valuable to us. And that's our way of etching out the respect in our field. So we make sure we maximize our time, we maximize our talent, and we provide great service to people who are serious about their next movement in their business, their brand. So I decided to do AMA because I kept getting all these questions. So I said, you know what, today what I'm going to do, set up a session and I'll answer like rapid fire on a lot of questions that I'll get on this session only. I don't do pick my brain, so there's no other complimentary ways to work with me. And I learned that from a great mentor, successful mentor of a multi-million-dollar company that said, your prices are what they are. You charge what you charge. Don't apologize for that. Stand in it. And either the people are going to do one or two things. And I appreciate Dennis you so much for this. And you should follow him because he's a great social media and personality, public figure expert, right, on personal branding. So Dennis told me that, for his hourly rate, it's $750 an hour. That is $750 an hour. And a lot of you may be saying, oh my, that's a lot. Others may say, who understand the investment and not the expenditure, because there is a difference, would say, my goodness, he's got some good stuff going on. He's proven. I want to work with him. So it's going to do one or two things. It's going to detract the people who should not be working with you, who should not be in the room with you, who should not be in the space with you. It's going to tell them it's too much. I can't afford it. That's the mindset they already have. And if you're serious about your business, you don't have time or space to work with them. That's the honest truth. Or you'll attract the second type of people who say, I want to work with him or her because I know what they have to offer is that valuable, and then I'll get the return on my investment. I'll see it. It may not be immediately, but I will see that working with Ebony makes a difference in my business. That's why I created AMA. That's the reason why I say I'm only doing this once. I will be live before you in other occasions, but as far as answering your questions live, allowing you to pick my brain on personal branding and development, as well as social media, it won't happen again because I know my value. I have great mentors, great village people around me who understand my value, who have helped me understand it. And what I ask of you is to understand your value. Don't compromise it. Don't apologize for it. It is what it is. So, what the people say. And basically, these are my clients. I work with these clients on a monthly basis. I assign them tasks. They have homework throughout the month that we work on, we discuss during their time with me. I spend 30 minutes on the phone with them. I do Zoom sessions with them where I can see them, they can see me, I screen share. And I just simply ask them, what is it that you're wanting to accomplish? What have you already done to reach that goal? And who are you? Because it's that simple. I think a lot of times you all overthink it to where you get lost in the sauce, is what I like to call it. You get lost in the emotion of being this large personal brand. But sometimes it's not about the numbers, it's the quality in which you produce and bring to the table. So what a lot of my clients have said is, you gave me clarity. I was so stuck. I'm glad that I'm clear. You've taught me how to break things down into small increments to where I'm no longer afraid of my dreams. I'm no longer afraid of my goals. And I'll tell you how I've been able to achieve that. Because you give me a task this big that has overwhelmed you to no avail. And I take it and put it in micro-sized bites. You get bite-sized tips, bite-sized tasks, bite-sized implementation is what happens. But over time, you achieve the goal that you had in mind. And that goes from a personal brand perspective. That goes from a public speaking perspective. That means as a speaker, you say, Ebony, I want to accomplish where I've booked 2 solid jobs that are paid this year. We work on how to get you there. That's what the AMA sessions are for, what the people say. My clients are clear. They are happy. They're not overwhelmed anymore because they've been able to work with me on a consistent basis. And I give them direction on what to do next, right? So I'm consulting with them for a minimum of 6 months. That's what I require to do an AMA session. So now that I've told you a little bit about me, what I do, who I am, my background, and why I created AMA sessions with the people are saying, I want to answer your questions for you. So this is what I call open book. This is where you sound off. We talk about your burning questions, and I'll answer as many as I can within the time frame allotted. I'll be here for the next 20 minutes at your disposal, and shoot away. So, Taylor, let's see, Cliff, Speaker LeVar Wharton, those of you who are on this broadcast, talk to me. Tell me what it is you want to know. This is your time to ask away. So I'll wait a little bit before I get a question here. I will tell you a question that I got from a previous client that I had was more so, well, what did you do on Twitter for My Black is Beautiful to contact you, to be attracted to you, to want you to represent their community? And I will answer that by saying, as far as a brand ambassador position is concerned, what I've done is essentially been myself, show my personality, show that I am about my business. I'm jovial, but I'm serious too. Anyone who knows me knows that. They know that if you ask me to do something, I'm following through, I'm going to do it. And when I can't, I'll communicate and say, hey, I'm behind. Hey, I need you to give me a little bit. You know, my thing is, I believe My Black is Beautiful, and from the feedback the client gave me was that they saw someone who was serious about change. They saw someone who was serious about her community and helping them, who was not afraid to share those pain points of bullying, of, you know, the color complexion and, you know, complexion issues within the African American community. They saw someone who was honest, raw, and real, right? So I like to say that all the time, that when you experience me, what I'm going to gift you with is honesty, being raw and real. I think is the difference between honesty and real. And a lot of you may be saying, oh, that's the same thing. Well, no. You can tell the truth, but if you're not real about your truth, you lose people. So I can tell you that I'm a single mom, and you have whatever painted picture in your head about single mothers that you're like, oh, I can relate to that. But if I tell you I'm a single mom, who came from a two-parent home, suburban America, who's well-educated with an advanced degree, great career, and yet I was depressed and suicidal. That's real, right? And it was raw because I didn't mind sharing with you the ugly parts, that I wanted to take pills and take myself out. You're right? So I was honest with you, telling you I was a single mom, but I allowed you to direct that narrative. I didn't help you with it. Right? So that's what I mean by being honest, real, and raw, because you have to make sure that you direct the narrative, that you help somebody with your story. And I believe that's the reason why P&G chose me, and several other clients have chosen to work with me, because they know that I'm going to give them that tough love. I remember when I was in my sorority, or being a part of my sorority, and we call them little sisters, would refer to me as big sister tough love, because I knew I loved them, I knew I wanted the best for them, but I also was going to shoot it to them straight. So we have a question from Taylor, and Taylor's question is, how are you able to determine the right tools and resources for current or potential clients when you alone have intermediate experience and minimal mentor relationships? That's a mouthful, but here we go. So as far as the proper tools and resources that I use for current or potential clients, even with little experience, when I first started, I was just a person who loved social media. I'd taken a few classes on Twitter, and I fell in love with the platform. I was not present on Twitter before that class, but once I understood the reason why Twitter exists, how it really works, the different intricacies of Twitter, it helped me to better understand how to explain it to others and to show my passion for it. So I was excited about the platform. I knew how to use it for myself. And I was a natural teacher as far as being in training and development for HR, but I didn't have much experience with training on it. I didn't have much experience with teaching another client or using what the client has as far as content and taking it on certain platforms. So what I had to do is expand my knowledge. And I'll tell you that even with intermediate experience, you've got clients or potential clients out there who don't have a clue how to use certain platforms. They don't know where to start. So the simplicity of what you offer at an intermediate level is okay. It's enough. And as you're giving them the simple components of social media and helping them with their brand, it will help you simultaneously to go and learn more about the platforms, learn more about the tools and resources that are out there and available to you that maybe they are free. Maybe there's a $10 upgrade for you to go to the next level with that platform, but you're learning that in conjunction with gifting your intermediate experience to a client. So that's how I would tell you to tackle that and to determine the right tools as you learn and play with them. Don't be afraid to sign up and hold a username on certain platforms, even if it's the BeLive platform. I've seen several of my colleagues and friends use this platform. I've never used it. This is my first time, but it's a great platform. Now, the more and more that I experience this, I can pass this down to a client and say, hey, this works. You should use this because this is how you can do it. Here's the things that you put in there to make this broadcast work for you. So you go about that by taking a chance on the platform, using it, seeing how it works. And then once you've learned it, write down that process flow of what you did to sign up. Everything is simple as creating an account, right? Creating the account, signing up, the username selection, help desk, where you find that. And then what did you do the first time you broadcast? What errors did you run into? Play with it several times and even put in there beta testing as your subject so that you can learn it and then you can pass that down to a client and say, here's a manual on how I did it. It's very simple. I think we overcomplicate things because we're afraid. It's our fear that jumps in there and says, well, you may not be able to do this because X, Y, and Z, right? It's total lies. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it very simple and don't allow your fear to jump in there, right? So, and as far as the minimal mentor relationships, Taylor, that is all about relationship building, and it takes time. With anything, it's just like you're dating the mentor. It's who you want to potentially work with. It's who you want to potentially mentor you. You have to court them. It would be just like if you were getting a new boyfriend, or for guys, a new girlfriend, or, whatever the case may be as far as your relationship status is concerned. You want to make sure that person feels like you like them first, right? That you're interested in them. In what ways are you interested in them? You show them action, why you're interested in them. You share a little bit about yourself and what you're willing to give to the relationship, right? It's the same thing with mentorships. You have to court and date your mentor. So if there's someone that you have your eye on, that you truly admire, and they're in a space that you're in, and you want to get better in that space, and they're advanced, right? More so than where you are in your career. You begin to reach out to them. You share their content with your audience. You help them in ways without asking for anything. Gift them you and your experience before you ask them for a single thing. If I can't say that again, I'm going to put that in the comments so y'all don't forget it. If you are looking for a mentor, you need to gift them with your experience more than you take from them. That's your mentor tip. Give them the experience that you give them, what you offer, what you bring to the table, and other things will come. Make sure that you don't operate with a what's in it for me mentality. Your mentor before they agree. And I just want to put that in there so that you guys can refer back to this video. If you're the replay viewers, you can see what we're talking about. That you're gifting people the experience of you. You're giving more than you take, right? We want to make sure that we give more than we take. But understand, we are not to be used. Just because, I'm going to say this again, just because we are interns, just because we are starting out here and we're working with experts and we're wanting them to mentor us, does not mean we are to be used. I want to make that clear to you. Yes, you may be working for what monetarily is no charge or complimentary or free, however you want to phrase that. However, you're still sharing your intellectual property with that mentor. You're still saying, this is how I can help you and get you in a space that you may not otherwise have access to by introducing you to my tribe, because you have something to offer too. So don't demean yourself. Don't think less of yourself because you're not at the level that they are. You have something to offer too. So if a mentor that you're working with is in a space of all corporate audience, right? Whatever they're doing, but you have more of an entrepreneurial audience, or you are in hair care and beauty, whatever the case may be, they're not there. So that audience your audience is going to trust you more than your mentor. So you leverage that and don't allow someone to demean you or make you feel like you're less than because you don't have 8 million people, 10 million people following you. You have 2,000. There's value in that 2,000 because you're going to make sure you maximize the quality of information that you gift to an audience, right? So Taylor, I hope that helped you with your question. In regard to social media, yes. You want to make sure you connect with them on social media. A lot of the opportunities that I've had has been directly through social media. A lot of my clients that I have never met in person. So I'll be honest with you there. I've never met some of my clients, the majority of my clients in person. You're welcome. So, I would say and I strongly suggest that you use social media, maximize it, leverage it, use it the correct way. And that's a whole different conversation. But as far as personal brands, you want to make sure you're not abusing social media and that you're using it in the right way. I teach this to parents, I teach this to children, adolescents, teens, even adults, college students especially. Employers look back at your social media. And if you're acting a fool on there, if you're not saying appropriate things and you're operating in a space of immaturity and childishness, at the end of the day, that's how we can say it, because that's what it is. Let's call a spade, then you're going to get that same response. You'll get the response that's equivalent to someone who's immature and not responsible with the platforms that they're given. Because at the end of the day, social media is a gift, and I think you have to change it. It's all about mindset and your mental state and how you use social media. So what I tell my clients is, if you're emotional that day, walk away. Social media is the last place that you need to be. You don't go on social media as someone who is emotional. You just don't. So, all right. So I think I answered the questions. I was going to spend 30 minutes here and making sure that I took care of everything. If you have any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. Because that's the end of our open book session. So, your personal AMA sessions, I did a beta group of 10 men and women, clients that I took to do AMA sessions, and we're still doing theirs for the next 6 months. They are signed up with me. We did a trial intro price point for those AMA sessions. I am now doing those same AMA sessions. If you want to sign up for them, that's you getting me one-on-one once a month, okay, for 6 months. I'm looking at see if you have any comments or questions. Okay, so that's you getting me once a month, and we speak for 30 minutes. We'll talk for 30 minutes. You choose the date. I'll give you a couple of times, and you get it scheduled on my calendar for 6 months minimum. You can work with me for 12 months if you like, but that is going to be that's a different price point if you work with me. So I'm going to give you this price point. Are you ready? Are y'all ready? Nobody's saying they're ready. I'll wait for you. Okay, so for less than $100 a month, just for the people who are on this broadcast, what I'm going to do for you for AMA for 6 months to work with me. Taylor, you're funny. So essentially, for 6 months to work with me, I'm going to do these sessions for $497. That's $497, which for 6 months is the equivalent, less than the $99 price point that I thought about for the 6 months. But I said, I'll go ahead and discount it just a little bit. But this is for you and I to work with each other one-on-one each month, for you to shoot any questions you have at me, for me to help you organize your business. Ask me anything for 30 minutes once a month. We'll have running documents, materials, and resources that will help you in your business. So it essentially boils down to about a little less than $83 per month. So less than $100, you get me personally. It's not an assistant. It's not someone on the crew. It's not an intern. This is you getting me personally. I did the beta group. I sold out in less than 2 days. It did not take me that long to sell out. And the beta group is doing amazing things. And if you'd like to get information from those clients, I can definitely give you referrals, references. But I'll tell you that I don't have anything else that is this low in price point, right? So $497, you get me for 6 months. That's less than $100 a month. You have a 6-month commitment. It's auto-drafted. You do have a deposit amount that you have to pay, which is a $50 deposit, which holds your space, your time on my calendar. But that's an AMA session. Just what we did today, how I broke down Taylor's response or question. I'll do that, but I go more in depth because we're one-on-one. And I give you materials and homework. So I would have given her assignments to say, this week I want you to go and reach out to 3 people who you like to be mentored by. List 3 people. How do they benefit you? Why do you want to work with them? Is their audience part of your target audience? Do you believe they're open? Now reach out. You're bold ass. And I would teach her and give her a template on how to reach out to them and ask them. Really. It's how I ended up on the Mario Armstrong Never Settle show, right? So Mario Armstrong, amazing man, TV personality, personal brand, public figure. I went to New York just on May 10th, and I co-hosted his show with Al Roker Media. Al Roker, you all are familiar with him. So I can teach you how to do these things. And I will do that 6 months, $497, less than $100 a month. So if you're interested in signing up for that, definitely contact me at brandmeglobal@gmail.com. That's brand, BRANDME, global, GLOBAL @gmail.com. brandmeglobal@gmail.com. And your subject, make sure you put AMA with Ebony. And we'll get you set up. We'll start getting you together. $497, 6 months. So it has been a pleasure being here with you. We've gone over about 3 minutes, but that's okay. I wanted to make sure you had that information. And I am excited for you to go onto your own personal branding and social media journey with me and ask me anything. Every month you get to pick my brain for less than $100. Have a good day.